You're back with Marcus. We're going to unpack some ways to formulate a response for task 3 in the CELPIP test. As you know, you will need to describe a picture for 1 minute. The picture that they will show you typically will have a number of people or objects that can be used as targets of your description. And do not worry if you cannot explain everything in the picture. In fact, don't try to explain every single thing or every single person. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So, for task 3, we will use this structure. We start off with an introduction, in which you will give a broad description of the picture. From there, you will move on to mentioning the people or objects you see. As you mention them, you will add details to complete your description. And at the end, you will add 1 or 2 sentences to close off your answer. We will use this picture for our practice. And the instruction will say something like this. Describe some things that are happening in the picture below as well as you can. The person whom you're speaking to cannot see the picture. So, what do we need to say in the introduction? Because the instruction asks you to describe a picture to someone else who cannot see the picture, you can use one of the sentences. As an example, I will say, I'm going to explain to you what I see in the picture, and I'll tell you what's happening and what the people are doing. First of all, the scene shows an incident on a busy road. So that can be an example of your introduction. A quick reminder, if you're preparing for the exam, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit like if you want to send us your love. Next, after the intro, you can start talking about the person or object or situation in more details. When you say that you see a person, you can say where it is in the picture. The following phrases will help you to do exactly that. In the foreground, in the background, on the left side, in the middle, and so on. Alternately, you can describe the relative location. For that, you can use some of these indicators. You will say, to the left of something, beside something, not far from someone. In fact, it's good to use both methods when you're describing the picture. It gives variety to your response. And here's a common mistake. You're supposed to add details or depth to your answer, but some students, when they're nervous, they tend to make a list rather than make a description. That's a no-no. You need details in your answer. What that means is, you should include further information to describe the person or the object or the situation. You can compare these 2 sentences. Obviously, you will agree that the bottom sentence is better and showcases your English skills more. As I said earlier in the beginning, you're not required to talk about everything in the picture. You will not have time to do that. Rather than attempting the impossible, you should pick several points to describe. Balance is the key here. If you only talk about 1 or 2 things, that's probably not enough. But if you try to talk about 5 or 6 different things, that's probably too many, and you won't be able to have the depth they look for in your answer. Keep in mind, if you want to earn a higher score, try to think of some idiomatic expressions that you can use while you're preparing your answer within that 30 seconds that they give you. You can write them down so that you don't forget to use them later. So the vocabulary that you use can be the differentiating factor between, let's say, getting a score of 10 as opposed to a score of 7 or 8 in your speaking part. Now, we've come to the easy part, the closing. Because we're not describing every single thing, you can once again remind the person that you have left out some details. How do we do that? Here's a quick example. Those are some of the main features of the picture, and I hope I just gave you a good enough description. As you just heard, it's very simple. That's all. You don't have to add anything else for your closing. Okay, so I've gone through the 4 steps when answering the question in this task. Now you should be ready to describe any picture that you will come across in the test. If you're still not feeling confident, practice with our sample questions. Lastly, before I let you go, let's listen to a sample response using the technique we just learned. Let me try to describe the picture I'm looking at. I'll tell you what's happening and what the people are doing. First of all, the picture shows what looks like a nature park. The park looks quite crowded as I see many people in the picture. On the bottom left side, a boy is looking at a red tulip from a distance through his binoculars. Next to him, a girl who seems to be his friend is waiting in excitement for her turn to try the binoculars. On the other side of the picture, a girl is enjoying her ice cream cone while sitting on a rock. And in the middle, I can see another girl wearing purple walking her 2 dogs. The dogs are on a leash so that they don't just run off from the owner. In the background, I see 2 people. They appear to be a father and a daughter. The father is teaching the girl how to ride a bike. There are some other things in the picture that I haven't mentioned, but hopefully you have a pretty good idea of what the picture looks like. That's it. Thanks for watching and good luck in your exam. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to leave your comments down below. Subscribe to our channel, and we'd love it if you hit the like button as well. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye!